Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Webley 1913 mod, which is being made by the Fallout 4 London team. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is the historic, real-world Webley 1913 pistol. And I've been having a whole lot of fun with this thing in the game as well. You guys know me, I'm a sucker for real-world historic guns, especially from the World Wars, and this saw action in both World War I and World War II. And since it is being made for the Fallout London mod, which, oh god, I can't wait for that to come out. It is looking amazing so far. But since it is British, you know, it's nice to have a historic World War British gun here, and one with a lot of historic significance, as I believe, I may be wrong on this, but I think this was the first semi-automatic gun used by the British military. At the very least, I think it was the first semi-automatic pistol they used, but all in all, very cool. So let's jump on over here and have a look at what we do get with the Webley Model 1913 pistol, which in its most standard configuration will deal 30 damage with a 45 round, with a firing rate of 66, a range of 119, accuracy of 61, and a weight of 3.2. And as you can see here, this thing is pretty nicely made. I mean, all in all, it's a pretty simple gun because, well, I mean, that's the gun. And it looks exactly like every picture I've ever seen of a Webley Model 1913. And I do love the detailing that is there. You know, you got the engraving on the side of the gun. It's just a very good looking. You even got the little lanyard loop there, which is pretty cool. A pretty common thing back then. Especially considering, I know that there were two Webley 1913s. There was the police one that was 32 caliber, and then the Navy one, which is what this obviously is, was in the 45. And so yeah, I just think those are, you know, cool little details there. I kind of wish we could rechamber this gun to 32 to have that option. That sadly isn't the case here, at least right now. The modifications that we do have are a bit limited, and that's really my one complaint I have about this mod at the moment. Hopefully we see more modifications down the road, but for the time being, really your only things you got in here are, you know, the usual receivers, some nice sights, and muzzle options, and that's really it. So hopefully we do get to see a little bit more interesting of things in here eventually. Now, as for how you do get your hands on one of these lovely guns, well, you could cheat them in like I did, but if you want to do it without cheating, thankfully it is added into the leveled list, and you'll start seeing it on shops, raiders, and gunners at level 10, which I think is a pretty good level considering the damage we do get. It's not exactly the most damaging thing ever, but it's also not too shabby. So kind of an early to mid-game gun, I'd say it would be pretty solidly there. Now, as for the modifications that we do have, let's go take a look at that. And in the receivers category, we've got the usual stuff here, going from standard to hair trigger all the way up to advanced, which is what is going to give you the most damage at a base level with this gun of 52. As always, this character doesn't have any other perks that would modify damage, so with those perks, you'll be able to get that up a little bit more. But base level, max of 52. Now then, in the barrel, grip, and magazine categories, sadly, as you can see here, we have no options right now. Again, I really hope that we do see some things here later. At the very least, you know, a nice extended magazine or something. You know, to give it a little bit more Fallout flair, I think would be cool. Now, on the sights, we've got two different sights options. A rear sight, which is nice. We've got the standard iron sight, a glow sight, and then you also have the option of two different reflex sights, either a circle or dot. And then we also have the front iron sight, where we either have just the standard metal or a glow sight there, which is very handy. The sights on this are perfectly usable even in the normal iron sights, but the glow sights really help make it a bit more visible. It kind of blends in a bit with just the standard ones there, in my opinion. And then finally we have the muzzle category with only two options of either nothing or a suppressor, which, you know, is nice. It is going to drop down the range a bit, but, you know, up that accuracy and make it so you're all sneaky and such, which is always cool. So let's take a look at this thing in practice and take some shots. There we are. Nice, clean use of the animation. And yeah, as you can see there with the iron sights, like I was saying earlier, depending on what you're looking at, you know, right there isn't bad. I can see the front sight of the gun, but with its coloring, it kind of really fades into nothingness on anything darker. But, you know, if it's a lighter color, you can very easily pop it on target, and it is a perfectly serviceable and useful iron sight. Now, let me shut up for a moment so you can hear the gun sounds. There we go. Nice and smooth. All nice and good there. Pretty good firing rate on this. Not a lot of recoil. I mean, the only magazine we have right now is 7 shots, so you're never going to really be too far off target. I mean, we went from there to there with hip firing, so it's a pretty controllable gun. Now let me go grab my 2 custom ones I made over here, and I want to do this one first just to show the difference between, of course, once again, the normal iron sights and how they kind of fade into non-existence there. And then let's grab the glow-sighted one. And yeah, you can see a lot more visible. And I mean, that's sort of an issue with any basic iron sight. But just with how small the front iron sight is on this, it's a lot more of an issue. But yeah, with the glow sights on there, boom, that thing is great. Now let's take a look at the suppressed one, because who doesn't like a little sneaky gun? And of course with that reflex sight on there, and fire. There we go. Nice solid sound, or well, not really solid, a very hushed sound. And I do like the silencer on this thing is pretty beat up. It doesn't look as clean as the gun, which actually kind of makes me wish that the gun's texture was a little bit more old and beat up. I think it'd be cool considering, again, this was a gun made between, you know, World War I and World War II. You'd think it'd be a bit old by this point, but that's a minor thing. But yeah, hopefully we do see some texture options and definitely some other modification options down the road. But that means it's time for, of course, us to test this thing against a real target, and we'll bring back... oh god, the Deathclaw today. Hello, Deathclaw, where are you? You're behind me. Oh god, alright, run to the stage quickly so I don't die. There we go, a little level 1 character without any armor. But you know what, with the 52 damage on the advanced receiver, we're doing pretty darn good against this thing. Let me actually go down here so we can actually see where I am and start to run back at me. There we go, and oh, did some good damage there. Wait for this, wait for this. Oh. Oh, nope, back up onto the stage, back up onto the stage. There we go. Just hip fire that one, he's nice and close. And boom, he's down. It took us a couple of magazines there, but not too bad. Again, with the, you know, up damage from that advanced receiver, getting up to 52, definitely making it a much more usable gun into the mid-game, maybe even into the early late. But it's still overall a very fun, solid gun to play with. And as always, I just love a good historic weapon. So if you'd like to take a look at this mod for yourself, which I'd certainly recommend you go and do, you can have a look at the link in the description as per usual. But that, my friends, is going to be it for this one today. Hopefully you all have enjoyed. You do come back for the next. But until that time, thank you for watching. And as always, have a good one.